Carmen, I'm so happy that you have got this award. It is extremely well deserved. You've worked hard for it, and I couldn't think of a better way of Jamaica saying thank you for your contribution.
You helped to change my life, and for that I'm forever grateful.
Mrs. Tipling, you deserve the award because you do a lot for the country and you do a lot for me too.
Congratulations, live it up. You deserve every single accolade that is being accorded to you.
A gift that keeps on giving. From her entry into media in 1965 until now, Carmen Evelyn Lyons Tipling continues to give service in the fields of communications and the arts. And the grateful nation recognizes the invaluable contribution, conferring on her the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander for her service to Jamaica in this year's National Honors and Awards ceremony. Her body of work spans over half a century, from being a journalist, playwright, communications specialist, chief executive officer to a consultant. The common thread in all these roles is her love of words, and that passion was sparked by a very special teacher at the Central Branch Primary School. 9-year-old Carmen was among 15 children who turned up for class one rainy day and were asked to write a story about an imaginary journey.
Mr. Nita loved the story, and he thought that it was quite senior for a 9-year-old student at primary school to write on those different levels, the slant and so on. And so he said, what do you plan to be? What kind of career you want to pursue as you go forward? So I said, oh, I would like to be a teacher. And he says, oh no. Not that you can't be a teacher, but you have such a flair for words. You should be a journalist.
Ambition established, young Carmen Lyons' calculated journey led her to Kingston Technical High School and thereafter Culver Stockton College in the United States. Back in Jamaica, the newly minted Bachelor of Arts degree holder took up an English teacher position at Oberlin High, all the while plotting to land her dream job at the Gleaner Company.
I wrote a letter to the Gleaner. Ted Seeley was the editor at the time, and I told him that the Gleaner needed me because I had been editing parts of the Gleaner for the last 3 months, and I would like to get a job.
I first started working with her at the Gleaner when I just left high school and she had just come back from teaching at Oberlin High School. Then we worked together for Peter Martin Associates, which was responsible for doing Jamaica's public relations in the US and Canada. And after that, we set up a firm together. There were 3 of us, and called Communication Consultants Limited. And we've continued to work together over the years because she's not only my working colleague, she's also my very dear friend.
Mrs. Tipling was actually the person who brought me into media. And if you've ever been trained by Mrs. Tipling, you know that you're thoroughly trained. She's rigorous, she's exacting. After you leave communications consultant, you can walk into any newsroom and present yourself as a properly trained writer. The other way in which I know her is through the Press Association of Jamaica, where she gave yeoman service for close to 2 decades. She was the treasurer.
Some of Carmen's more notable campaigns include the first staging of Reggae Sunsplash, government's comprehensive immunization program for children, safe sex in the age of HIV/AIDS, and leading the acceptance of the Caribbean Examinations Council CXC exams in the region. But many would say that her most enduring legacy was overseeing the transformation of what is now the Jamaica Information Service, JIS. In addition to facilitating the merger of the JIS and JAMPRESS, Carmen, as Chief Executive Officer, led its move to executive agency status.
I totally enjoyed working at the Jamaica Information Service. I like the idea that the government wanted to create a shift and have an agency such as the JIS to become an executive agency, and it influenced on several different levels in terms of how it performed, how it responded to certain things, and how it was funded.
Although she left the agency, I still keep in touch with her. For one reason, she helped me a lot with my 2 girls them. So we still have contacts, and she loved when I come round her and visit her.
Carmen then joined the Jamaica National Group, where she still serves in a consultancy role.
Mrs. Tipling built out the communications department as it was then, and she moved it into what we could consider into a full-fledged media entity. And she brought with her the skill set of ensuring that we not only had persons who could write, but we ended up having full-fledged journalists as a part of our team.
Media and communications aren't Carmen's only love. She's also an award-winning writer, having won silver and bronze in the Jamaica Creative Writing Competition. Her play, Lunchtime Revolution, is featured in the book 3 Caribbean Plays, but the jewel in her crown is the 1992 production Arawak Gold. Written by Carmen and Ted Dwyer, the pantomime did exceptionally well with performances in Miami and New York, as well as London. Carmen also served for 10 years as a lecturer in communications at the Institute of Management and Production, now the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean.
She was a very animated lecturer. So, you know, she always brought life, and anybody who knows Mrs. Tipling, she has a little bounce about her when she walks and when she gives examples, and she always has very practical examples while she lectured us and looking at the art of public relations.
And Carmen still finds time to give back, mentoring young communicators.
Sometimes one wish one could do more, you know, but every little bit helps. And the people whom I've worked with and the persons whose lives I know that I have had some little bit of influence on are appreciative, and I think that they have a whole thing about playing it forward. You know, they continue to contribute to assisting and helping other people.